Have you ever felt drained, disrespected, or quietly hurt by people who are supposed to be your family? Not enemies, not strangers, but the very people who share your blood. Here's the hard truth most people never want to face. Not everyone who calls you family wants you to grow, heal, or rise. Stoicism teaches us something uncomfortable but freeing. Character matters more than connection. And sometimes, what feels like loss is actually protection. You may call it fate, you may call it life. Some call it God. But when certain family members slowly fade away, expose themselves, or remove themselves from your life, it's often not punishment, it's alignment. As Marcus Aurelius warned, what harms the hive harms the bee. And no organism survives by keeping what poisons it. In this video, we'll uncover the quiet, undeniable signs that reveal when family members secretly don't love you, and why their removal may be the very thing saving your peace. Stay until the end. This may change how you see loyalty forever. 1. They celebrate your failures, but feel uncomfortable with your growth. One of the most painful realizations in life is this. Some family members don't openly hate you. They simply feel better when you're struggling. They won't say it out loud. They may even pretend to care. But watch closely. When you fail, they suddenly have energy. They listen, they comment, they engage. Your hardship gives them relevance. Yet when you grow, when you heal, set boundaries, improve your life, something shifts. Their enthusiasm fades. Their support becomes silence. Their concern turns into subtle discomfort. Stoicism teaches us to judge people not by words, but by patterns. Anyone can offer sympathy when you're down. It costs nothing. But only those who truly love you can tolerate your growth without feeling threatened. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Your progress exposes what others avoided becoming. And for some family members, your growth feels like an accusation. Even when you never accused them, they may say things like, "You've changed. You think you're better than us now. Why are you acting different?" But what they really mean is, "Your growth reminds me of my stagnation." From a Stoic perspective, envy doesn't always look like anger. Sometimes it looks like indifference. Sometimes it looks like sarcasm disguised as humor. Sometimes it looks like silence where encouragement should be. And here's where many people make a mistake. They try harder. They explain themselves. They shrink their success. They dim their light to maintain peace. Stoicism warns against this. You're not required to stay small so others can remain comfortable. Marcus Aurelius wrote that harmony does not mean sameness. It means alignment with nature, and growth is natural. If someone can only tolerate you when you're broken, they do not love you. They love the version of you that made them feel superior. This is where life, or what many call God, intervenes quietly. Not through confrontation, not through dramatic separation, but through exposure. You begin to notice conversations feel colder, support feels conditional, joy is no longer shared, and slowly distance forms, not because you chose it, but because truth did. Stoicism teaches emotional sovereignty. You don't attack, you don't accuse, you observe. Pause, observe, withdraw emotionally, not as punishment, but as protection. Here's the Stoic protocol for this sign. Pause, stop seeking validation from those who feel threatened by your progress. Observe, notice who claps when you rise, and who only speaks when you fall. Protect, limit emotional access. Share less. Expect less. Not everyone deserves front-row access to your becoming. This is not bitterness. This is clarity, and clarity always precedes peace. Remember this Stoic mantra. I do not require approval to evolve. If certain family members drift away as you grow, it doesn't mean you failed them. It often means you outgrew a version of yourself they depended on. And sometimes that separation isn't cruelty, it's correction. 2, they minimize your pain and invalidate your experience. One of the clearest signs that someone doesn't truly care about you is not what they do. It's how they respond when you're hurting. When a family member secretly doesn't love you, they rarely confront your pain with compassion. Instead, they shrink it. They say things like, "You're overreacting." It wasn't that serious. Other people have it worse. Why can't you just move on? At first, these words may sound practical, even reasonable. But Stoicism teaches us to look beneath the surface. Minimizing your pain is not strength. It is avoidance. It allows them to escape responsibility, emotional, moral, or relational. When someone invalidates your experience, they're not telling you the truth about reality. They're telling you what makes them comfortable. Here's the deeper pattern. Your pain requires acknowledgement. Acknowledgement requires empathy. Empathy requires presence. And presence is costly for people who don't want to feel. So instead of meeting you where you are, they push you away from it. Stoicism never teaches denial of emotion. It teaches mastery through understanding. Epictetus reminded us that while events themselves are neutral, our judgments give them weight. But notice this carefully. Your judgment of your pain is yours, not theirs. When someone dismisses your suffering, they are attempting to control your inner narrative. And that is a quiet form of disrespect. Many people internalize this treatment. They start questioning themselves. Maybe I'm too sensitive. Maybe I shouldn't feel this way. Maybe I'm the problem. This is where harm multiplies. Because now, instead of healing, you're defending your right to feel. Stoicism calls this a loss of inner authority. Marcus Aurelius warned against handing over your mind to others, especially those who neither understand nor protect it. A family member who truly loves you may not always agree with you, but they will never mock your pain, rush your healing, or belittle your emotional reality. Love listens before it instructs. So what happens next? Life begins to create distance. Not loudly, not dramatically, but subtly. You stop sharing. You answer with fewer details. You feel safer being quiet than being honest. This is not emotional coldness. It is instinctive self-protection. From a Stoic perspective, this is wisdom awakening. Because when someone consistently minimizes your pain, they are signaling one thing clearly. They are not a safe place for your inner life. And no philosophy, Stoic or otherwise, demands that you expose your wounds to those who mishandle them. Here is the Stoic response protocol for this sign. Pause. Stop seeking emotional validation from those who deny your reality. Name. Silently label the behavior. This is invalidation, not truth. Protect, adjust access. Share selectively. Reserve depth for those who respond with respect. You don't argue. You don't explain. You simply reclaim your inner ground. Remember this Stoic truth. I do not need agreement to be valid. When certain family members grow distant as you stop tolerating emotional dismissal, it is not abandonment. It is alignment. Because peace begins the moment you stop asking those who wounded you to confirm your wounds. And sometimes, that realization is exactly what removes them from your life. Quietly, naturally, precisely when they no longer have access to your inner world. 3. They compete with you instead of supporting you. Family is meant to be a place of refuge, not rivalry. But when a family member secretly doesn't love you, support quietly turns into competition. They compare, they measure, they keep score. Your success becomes a reference point, not a reason for pride. You notice it in small ways. When you share good news, they redirect the conversation back to themselves. When you achieve something meaningful, they respond with a story that one-ups it. When you struggle, there's a strange sense of relief in their tone. Stoicism teaches us to observe intent, not just behavior. Healthy competition pushes both people forward. Unhealthy competition tries to pull one person back. And within families, this dynamic is especially corrosive because it hides behind familiarity. They may say, "I'm just being honest. I'm motivating you." That's how our family talks. But notice the outcome. You feel smaller after interactions. You feel tense sharing progress. You feel like you're being watched, measured, evaluated. That's not encouragement. That's comparison disguised as connection. From a Stoic lens, competition rooted in envy is a sign of inner scarcity. When someone competes with you instead of supporting you, they're revealing something important. They don't see growth as abundant. They see it as a limited resource. Your win feels like their loss, and that perception poisons relationships. Marcus Aurelius reminded us that what belongs to others, their talents, timing, success, is not ours to contest. Yet insecure people can't follow this principle. So they turn closeness into a contest. Here's where many people misstep. They try to reassure, they downplay achievements, they over-explain their choices. They attempt to manage someone else's insecurity. Stoicism rejects this. You are responsible for your character, not for soothing someone else's ego. When family members compete with you, life often steps in to rebalance the system. Not through confrontation, not through dramatic arguments, but through distance. You begin to share less. You protect milestones. You keep victories quiet. And slowly, the competitive energy loses its fuel. This isn't avoidance, it's discernment. Stoicism teaches selective intimacy, closeness earned through virtue, not blood. Here is the Stoic response protocol for this sign. Pause. Stop oversharing achievements with those who turn them into comparisons. Observe, notice who celebrates you without turning it into a scoreboard. Protect, redirect energy toward those who collaborate, not compete. This is not arrogance. This is self-respect. Remember this Stoic principle. I am not in competition with those who wish me well. When certain family members grow distant as you stop participating in silent rivalries, it doesn't mean you've become cold. It means you've become clear. Clear about who deserves access to your progress. Clear about where your energy is best invested. And sometimes that clarity naturally removes people who only knew how to relate to you through comparison. Not because you pushed them away, but because you refused to stay in a race you never agreed to run. 4. They only show up when they need something. There's a quiet pattern that reveals more than any argument ever could. Some family members don't disappear completely. They just appear, selectively, when they need advice, when they need money, when they need emotional labor, support, access, or validation. But when you need something, they're suddenly busy, unavailable, silent. Stoicism teaches us to study consistency, not promises. Anyone can say, "I'm always here for you." But only behavior tells the truth. Love moves both ways. Use moves in one direction. When someone only shows up when it benefits them, they're not maintaining a relationship. They're maintaining access. And access is not love. You'll notice the signs if you're honest with yourself. Conversations start with their problems. Calls end once their need is met. Your struggles are met with vague advice or quick exits. At first, you may excuse it. They're family. They're stressed. They don't mean it. But Stoicism warns us against abandoning reason out of loyalty. Marcus Aurelius wrote that justice begins with fairness, even in close relationships, and fairness means reciprocity. Here's the deeper danger. When you allow one-sided access for too long, you train people to see you as a resource, not a person. Your time becomes expected. Your energy becomes assumed. Your boundaries become inconvenient, and the moment you say no, something shifts. They act confused, offended, even angry. Why? Because boundaries expose intention. A person who values you will adjust. A person who values use will resist. This is often when life, or what many interpret as divine order, begins to intervene. Not by forcing separation, but by revealing imbalance. You grow tired, emotionally depleted, less willing to overextend. And as you pull back, they fade. Not because you abandoned them, but because the relationship could not survive without extraction. Stoicism calls this natural consequence. No drama, no confrontation, no revenge, just truth revealing itself through distance. Here is the Stoic response protocol for this sign. Pause, stop overgiving in the hope of being valued. Observe, notice who remains when you stop providing convenience. Protect, replace automatic yes with intentional choice. You don't need to announce boundaries. You don't need to justify them. Boundaries explain themselves through consistency. Remember this Stoic reminder: I am a human being, not a utility. When certain family members drift away as you reclaim your time and energy, it may feel uncomfortable at first, even guilt-inducing. But Stoicism teaches that guilt is often the echo of conditioning, not wrongdoing. You're not wrong for expecting mutual care. You're not selfish for withdrawing from imbalance. And sometimes, what looks like loss is actually release. Because the moment you stop being useful at your own expense, those who never loved you, only needed you, quietly remove themselves. And peace enters where exhaustion once lived. 5. They talk about you behind your back, disguised as concern. One of the most deceptive signs that a family member secretly doesn't love you is this. They speak about you more than they speak to you, and they rarely call it gossip. They call it concern. They call it just being honest. They call it trying to help. But pay attention to the pattern. What they won't say to your face, they feel comfortable saying in your absence. Stoicism teaches us to judge integrity by alignment. Do words and actions point in the same direction? When someone truly cares, their concern moves toward you. When someone harbors resentment or envy, it moves around you. Family gossip is especially dangerous because it carries moral camouflage. It sounds protective. It sounds reasonable. I'm just worried about them. They're going through a phase. They don't listen to advice. But underneath these phrases often lies something darker, a need to control the narrative. When someone talks about you behind your back, they're shaping how others see you without giving you a voice. And that is not love. That is quiet sabotage. Stoicism places great value on character when no one is watching. Marcus Aurelius warned that a person's true nature is revealed in private conduct, not public performance. Ask yourself, do they address issues directly with you? Or do you hear concerns secondhand? Do misunderstandings multiply instead of resolve? If truth mattered, they would come to you first. Here's the deeper insight. People who gossip often fear directness because directness requires courage. And courage is the virtue they lack. So instead, they create triangulation, pulling others into a story that never belonged to them. This behavior slowly erodes trust. You begin to feel watched, misrepresented, unsafe being yourself, and over time, you instinctively withdraw. Less sharing, less openness, more emotional distance, not because you're cold, but because you're wise. Stoicism does not ask you to confront every injustice. It asks you to conserve your energy for what you can control. You cannot control what others say, but you can control access to your inner world. This is often when life initiates separation, as you stop feeding personal details into unsafe spaces. The gossip dries up, and with it, the relationship. Not because you attacked it, but because it could not survive without information to distort. Here is the Stoic response protocol for this sign. Pause, stop oversharing with those who misuse information. Observe, notice who brings concerns directly and who spreads them indirectly. Protect, keep your private life private. Silence is a form of boundary. This is not secrecy. This is discernment. Remember this Stoic principle. Those who speak about me without me reveal more about themselves than about me. When certain family members fade as you stop participating in gossip cycles, it may feel lonely at first. But Stoicism teaches that false closeness is more damaging than honest distance. Because peace doesn't come from being talked about kindly. It comes from being treated honestly. And sometimes, the quiet removal of those who distort your name is not misfortune. It is moral order restoring balance. 6. They resent your boundaries and punish you for saying no. Nothing exposes hidden intentions faster than a boundary. When a family member secretly doesn't love you, they may tolerate your kindness, but they resent your limits. The moment you say no, the moment you protect your time, energy, or values, their tone changes. They become cold, passive-aggressive, dismissive, or worse, they try to make you feel guilty. You've changed. Family doesn't say no to family. After everything I've done for you. Stoicism teaches us to listen carefully when boundaries are challenged, because resistance reveals expectation. A person who respects you will adjust to your boundary. A person who benefits from your lack of boundaries will fight it, and that fight is never about love. It's about control. Here's the deeper pattern. When you had no boundaries, you were predictable, accessible, easy to manage. Your compliance made others comfortable. But boundaries disrupt convenience. They force people to confront a reality they avoided. You are a sovereign individual, not an extension of them. Marcus Aurelius warned against surrendering your inner citadel. Boundaries are how that citadel stands. So when someone reacts with anger, manipulation, or withdrawal, after you set a limit, they are not hurt by your behavior. They are hurt by the loss of access. This is where many people fold. They apologize for protecting themselves. They over-explain their reasons. They soften boundaries until they disappear. Stoicism calls this a mistake. You do not owe anyone an explanation for your peace. Boundaries are not punishments. They are declarations, and declarations reveal alignment, or the lack of it. Often, this is where life initiates separation, not through conflict, but through consequence. You stop accommodating disrespect. They stop showing up. You stop rescuing. They stop calling. You stop explaining. They stop engaging, not because you became cruel, but because the relationship depended on you having no limits. Stoicism calls this natural sorting. Those who value you adapt. Those who used you resist, then retreat. Here is the Stoic response protocol for this sign. Pause. Do not rush to soothe someone's discomfort with your boundary. Observe, notice who respects your no without argument. Protect, maintain consistency. A boundary enforced once is a suggestion. A boundary enforced consistently is reality. You don't need to escalate. You don't need to justify. Silence, followed by consistency, does the work for you. Remember this Stoic reminder. I can be kind without being available. When certain family members fade as you become more boundaried, it may feel like rejection. But Stoicism reframes this clearly. You were not rejected. You were filtered. Filtered from roles you were never meant to play. Caretaker, emotional crutch, peacekeeper at your own expense. And sometimes, what people call God removing someone from your life is simply truth making access impossible. Because boundaries don't destroy relationships. They only destroy illusions. 7. You feel drained, guilty, or smaller after every interaction. This is the sign most people ignore because it doesn't come from words. It comes from how you feel. After spending time with certain family members, you feel tired, not physically, but internally. Your mind feels heavy. Your confidence dips. You replay conversations, wondering what you did wrong. And the most dangerous part? You feel guilty for feeling this way. Stoicism teaches us something critical here. The body and mind register truth long before the intellect accepts it. Energy doesn't lie. When someone secretly doesn't love you, their presence creates friction inside you. Even when everything looks fine on the surface, there may be no yelling, no insults, no obvious abuse, just a quiet erosion of self. You leave interactions questioning yourself, second-guessing your choices, doubting your instincts. That is not coincidence. Marcus Aurelius warned against environments that disturb the soul, not because they are loud, but because they are misaligned. Love expands you. Disguised resentment contracts you. Here's how this dynamic usually works. They criticize subtly. They correct unnecessarily. They joke at your expense, then call you sensitive. Over time, you begin to brace yourself before seeing them. You edit your words. You shrink your presence. This is not maturity. This is self-abandonment. Stoicism never asks you to tolerate what corrodes your character. In fact, one of its core teachings is this: you are responsible for the state of your inner life. If a relationship consistently destabilizes you, something is wrong, regardless of shared history. Many people rationalize this away. That's just how they are. They mean well. They've always been like that. Stoicism cuts through this illusion. Duration does not justify damage. And here's the part few want to admit. Some family members maintain closeness by keeping you emotionally off balance, because a grounded, confident version of you would no longer tolerate the dynamic. So they keep you uncertain, guilty, small, not always intentionally, but consistently. This is often when life intervenes most decisively, not with conflict, not with confrontation, but with exhaustion. You reach a point where your nervous system refuses to cooperate anymore. You stop calling, stop visiting as often, stop engaging deeply, and peace slowly returns. This is not rebellion. This is your system choosing health. Stoicism recognizes this moment as wisdom, not weakness. Here is the Stoic response protocol for this final sign. Pause. Take your emotional state seriously. Fatigue is information. Observe. Ask honestly. Do I feel clearer or smaller after this interaction? Protect, reduce exposure. You're allowed to choose environments that stabilize you. You do not need permission to prioritize inner order. Remember this Stoic truth. I am not obligated to remain where my spirit is diminished. When certain family members quietly fall away as you reclaim emotional stability, it may feel sad, even confusing, but Stoicism offers this clarity. If your peace increases in their absence, their presence was the problem. And sometimes, what people call God removing family from your life is simply truth aligning you with what no longer harms you. Not through force, but through awareness, through fatigue, through the unmistakable relief that follows distance. If there's one thing Stoicism teaches us clearly, it's this: not everything that leaves your life is a loss. Some people are not removed to punish you. They're removed to protect you. Today, you saw the signs. Not loud signs, not dramatic signs, but quiet truths. Family members who celebrate your failures, who minimize your pain, who compete instead of support, who show up only when they need something, who distort your name behind your back, who resent your boundaries, and who leave you feeling smaller every time you walk away. Stoicism doesn't ask you to hate them. It doesn't ask you to fight them. It asks you to see clearly and choose peace without guilt. You don't need to announce your departure. You don't need to justify your distance. You don't need closure from people who never protected your inner world. Sometimes silence is the boundary, distance is the lesson, and peace is the proof. As Marcus Aurelius reminded us, your life is shaped by your thoughts. And today, you choose thoughts rooted in clarity, not obligation. If this video resonated with you, let it settle. You're not cold. You're not ungrateful. You're becoming aligned. If you choose peace over blood ties that harm you, comment below, "I choose peace." And remember this final Stoic truth: what leaves your life to preserve your soul was never meant to stay. Stay steady, stay sovereign, and walk forward unburdened.